She was lying, did not want to take accountability. So Century 21 said, don't worry about it. We will. You're gone. You're fired. Now, same old story. And again, this is going back to kind of classic Karen too. Now she wants to be a better person. Now she's sorry. Now she wants to take accountability. No, you want your money that you lost. You got to go fund me now. Hey everyone, join me for my very special brand of sit-down comedy, March 29th at the Broadway Comedy Club. Don't let that stupid face right there fool you. We'll have a good time. Get your tickets by going to doubletoastedny.com or go to doubletoasted.com. I told y'all this at the beginning of the stream. I said I was going to repeat this. You know, it's been a long time since we had a nice old-fashioned Karen story. Now, like I said, I ain't talking about any kind of, regular Karen that we hear about all the time these days, because anybody can be a Karen. Shit, I can be a Karen. You can be a Karen. Karens, they come in all shapes, sizes, and flavors now. I saw a black man Karen walking up on somebody talking about, what you do in this neighborhood? You don't belong here. Pulling that Karen shit. So Karens come in all types now. That's how much Karen, the Karen has evolved. But we're going to talk about that OG Karen. The Karen the one, we're going to go back to her original form. I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. Again, I hate to, I don't want to overgeneralize, but I'm talking about that blonde woman Karen. Middle-aged, came out on business, unhappy with life, always got to be in somebody else's business, just a shitty person. I read a story while I was over here in Thailand, and I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. I should have known that this, I'll just say it, our president has resurrected the original Karen. So, I'm still seeing things in America that are crazy. People acting predictably shitty because of the political climate that we're in. And that brings us to our original Karen right here, Stephanie Lovins, who has the most ironic name ever, because for somebody named Lovins, she sure has a lot of hate in her heart, or so it seems. We're talking about, a little bit of politics right now, which is very depressing. We're talking about shitty people, which is very depressing. And it would seem like this is another example of how today's political climate is just bringing the worst out in people, which I'm going to talk about with this woman right here. Emboldening people. You know what I'm saying? You remember last time we went down this road. It was just emboldening people and making them proud to be hateful, to be mean, to bully people, to just be overall a shitty person. It would seem like this is one of these depressing stories that we're talking about again. But I want to bring this up because, particularly with this story right here, but a lot of times we get these stories, I do get hope because it shows that we still have people who are willing to stand up for the right thing. So let's talk about this right here. So Miss Not So Lovins right here, she's a former realtor, emphasis on the former. And here's where we get into the story. And this story has got some layers to it because there's some things in here that I see that the contradictions alone with these stories amaze me. But she was eating in a Mexican food restaurant. I think it was called Casuelas. I remember that because I eat at a place called Las Casuelas myself here in Austin, Texas. And you could probably see where this is going. Blonde woman, political climate that we're in, Mexican food. Mexicans are not too far behind. You could probably see where this is going. But I think at the restaurant, there was some dispute that happened with the coupon. So instead of leaving a tip, she decided to show her ass and leave this comment right here. And as I said, you saw this coming. You knew this was going. In the tip line, do you see that right there? Can you read that? It says, use 0, you suck. And so the total remains the same. And then you go down there where the signature is supposed to be. And she says, I hope Trump deports you. So, first of all, I love the contradictions with these MAGA morons over here. These MAGA dipshits. They're so happy to be freed by their cult leader daddy, to be these hateful people. You know, proud, like I said. You know, they've been inspired to just be hateful, racist, mean-spirited people. And and they're so happy to be that they don't even see the irony or the ignorance in the assumptions that they're making. The waiter that she said, with her words right here, that she says, I'll hope Trump deports you. That guy is a U.S. citizen who is disabled and has 2 jobs. You know, one of those hard-working Americans that certain people love to use as an example. You know, one of those people that has pulled himself up by the bootstraps. You know, one of those fine Americans who works hard every day for themselves and doesn't really ask for anything. This man got 2 jobs. And she talking about, I hope they deport you back to Mexico. All she saw was brown and just assumed that he didn't belong here. In a Mexican food restaurant, by the way. You know, and it's funny because they always like talk about that. Except today when you're a little too brown, too ethnic, that don't mean shit. You work hard, you belong here. No, you don't. Take your ass back to Mexico. Just because you look like you should go back. But 2, you decided to hate on Mexicans while eating Mexican food in a Mexican restaurant. How stupid can you be? You know, that's the funny thing about it. I always found it funny that people like this person right here, you know, they love Mexican culture. You know, they love the tacos, they love the burritos, love those margaritas, especially white women. White women love margaritas, man. You know, and they drink it by the gallon. Got those big ass margarita glasses. A lot of times these days you even see them with a Mexican beer ass end sticking out of it. I feel kind of bad. I think we all kind of stole Cinco de Mayo from the Mexicans. We all party hard. Harder. We party harder than Mexicans do for Cinco de Mayo. But shit, these MAGA type people, they love Cinco de Mayo. They love putting them sombreros on and drinking margaritas. You know, they love Mexican culture. They love Mexican food. They love Mexican holidays. They love traveling to Mexico itself. They love going to Mexican resorts. They want everything Mexican except the Mexican. There's always that's always baffled me. And I'm gonna tell you something. You talking about deport these people. And most of these people that you are hatefully talking about deporting, you better watch what you say. You know, going there talking about speak English while you're here or get the hell out of my country. All this Mexican food that you love, I challenge anybody to go to a Mexican food restaurant where they don't speak a word of English and tell me that that's not the best Mexican food you ever had. Yet you want to get rid of the source. I've never understood this whole love of everything Mexican, but I want it without the Mexican. The person who's responsible for it, the person who's making it, all them delicious margaritas you're drinking. You want to remove the Mexican out of that. So now all y'all want is what? Taco Bell and Gatorade? Here with that. I've never understood that contradiction, that irony that goes on with that. But here's what is really inspiring about this story. And this is why, when these terrible things happen, when you see people being just, again, just having pride in being mean, and we really do see a culture of meanness going on. That's what breaks my heart about things. People just, they relish in the misery of others. They relish digging into that misery. They relish just, hitting down, punching down, kicking down. They relish in being bullies. This, and again, we know where this is kind of being inspired from. But whenever you see that, you always get an example of people more so who want to do the right thing. And they don't want to have anything to do with that. They want to hold people even accountable for it. And that's what happened to dumbass over here. So she was a realtor, as I told you, for Century 21. Century 21 said, not no more. Century 21 put out a statement. This is from the Inquisitor. But after that backlash, she got Century 21, old Mr. 21 came up and said, thank you for bringing this to our attention. The Century 21 brand does not condone acts of discrimination and is taking this situation seriously. We have looked into it, and the agent in question is no longer associated with the brand. Now, she tried to pull that shit of, somebody stole my card. Somebody was pretending to be me and wrote those mean things. Century 21 went to the restaurant and had them look up video. I think that's what happened. I think they went there and had them look up video of the restaurant and said, bitch, is that you? And turns out, she was there. It was her. She was lying. Did not want to take accountability. So Century 21 said, don't worry about it. We will. You're gone. You're fired. Now, same old story. And again, this is going back to kind of classic Karen too. Now she wants to be a better person. Now she's sorry. Now she wants to take accountability. No, you want your money that you lost. You got to go fund me now. Stephanie's path to accountability, reformation, and second chances. This out of here with that. All right. I do believe in forgiveness. I do believe that people can change. I do believe, in people having a second chance. But you can't be doing that shit the next day. You have to prove that you have a desire to reform. You have to prove that that you have earned that forgiveness. When people give you a second chance, you have to actually show them that you are on that path to redemption. You can't just put up a GoFundMe and say, I need some money. Hey, y'all. No, I'm trying to change. Give me $50. No, hell, it don't work like that. It don't work. That shit don't work like that. All right. She already got $1,000 right there. Good for you. But, there's a grace period where we need to believe that you are sincerely sorry. I saw it with some of these people from January 6th. Some of these people were sorry when they got arrested, or so they said. Some of them were they felt appalled about their actions, and then they all get pardoned, and then all right back to being the same shitty person again. I'm not saying that you can't change, but you got to give it time. You can't just be sorry because you're not sorry. As the old saying goes, you're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry because you got caught. And in this case, you're sorry because you broke. You ain't got no money. Are you scared because you lost your job? I don't want to hear that. On the bright side, I do hear that they're hiring at a Mexican food restaurant. If you want to go get an application for that, that'll probably be cool for you. Soak in the culture some more, Get close to the Mexican people. Probably quit being such an asshole. And again, I'm not saying that I hate playing parties against each other, but there is a culture that has been cultivated by Trump and and by the GOP that has really made people prideful of being hateful, and I don't know why. I don't know why. But you know, I don't care what your political affiliation is. There's no excuse to just being mean to people. There isn't. And I don't care what you say. Well, maybe she got some bad service. Maybe the waiter wasn't doing his job right. You know what? I've been frustrated by people of all walks of life. I've been frustrated by gays, brown people, black people, women, you know, and I've never thought to, yeah, you know, we had a guy named Carlos on the show. I used to get frustrated with Carlos on the air. And I said, you know, I have said some kind of racist things to him and jest, but I never did it where I was just kind of like, I got mad. I'm like, you brown son of a bitch, go back to Puerto Rico. I've never done that. I've never acted out of hate with somebody because of, or if something went wrong. I've never taken it out on who they are, you know, what their race is or their sexual orientation. I've never done that. So if you do that, it's beyond just being dissatisfied with service or being upset with that person. No, you have something inside of you that there's some prejudice, there's some racism, there's anger issues, there's aggression, you know. And I don't want to hear excuses from people saying, "Well, I was just caught up in the moment." A lot of stuff brings out who you are. You know, nobody's perfect, but no one ever gets that personally.